Back in 2017, I came here on my YouTube page to say that I was disappointed once again in the Chicago Bears. We had drafted Mitch Trubisky, the one player I never wanted to draft. We had made that selection, and I said it was time to face the music and understand that the Bears have once again made a mistake. But now, fast forward 2021 draft night, Ryan Pace, given the opportunity to right a wrong, like Sam Beckett in Quantum Leap, you can be the team that goes out there and makes the right decision. And that's exactly what happened tonight with the Chicago Bears. I cannot believe what had happened. Justin Fields somehow falls to number 11, and it's the Chicago Bears who went out there and made the move, picked him up, and now we have a franchise quarterback we have been looking for basically forever. There are not many people left on this planet who remembers what it was like to have a franchise quarterback. Jimmy McMahon, of course, very good, but Justin Fields is different. And to me, I'm trying to put all my thoughts together. You know, if you think about the way that the day started, okay? Tim Tebow, we didn't know if he was going to come back to the NFL. Aaron Rodgers was apparently fine with playing for the Green Bay Packers, and the Bears were just a bunch of slapdicks who could never get the quarterback position right. But you know what? All of that has changed in a matter of hours. The fortunes have turned, and now the Chicago Bears look like the smart franchise for a change. And you know what? It's too reminiscent. First of all, by the way, if you're a redheaded quarterback and you sign with the Chicago Bears and they try to tell you, like, hey, you're going to be our QB1, like, don't believe them. Like Mike Glennon, Andy Dalton, I am so sorry. And I know Gil Brandt went out there, switched the Bears tweet from a couple of weeks ago to QB2. Well, there's still a lot left to put out there, left to play. And we'll figure that out as the weeks and the months move on. But for right now, the Bears look like the smart team. Like the Jets, of course, are going to take Zach Wilson, the guy who plays he's not even in the Mountain West. The 49ers take Trey Lance, which is fine. But listen, and this is one of the things that I always have to point out to a lot of people. The 49ers don't get enough discredit for not taking Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson either. You know what? The 49ers needed a quarterback in that draft. They drafted Solomon Thomas. Not enough people talk about that. Not enough people. Now, I know it worked out in their favor. They got Jimmy Garoppolo. He got hurt. That allowed them to get Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa or one of the Bosa brothers, whoever. I don't care. I don't care about anybody right now because I care about the Chicago Bears. And for years, I was sitting there, and we were watching when that draft was unfolding. And I remember watching Deshaun Watson play at a high level, dominate fools. And I'm like, why is this guy not the top pick at quarterback? Why is everybody at the top of the draft reaching for a project when you could go out there and get a stud that we've seen perform on the highest level? And now teams look back and like, how did you pass? How did you pass on Mahomes? How did you pass on Deshaun Watson? Well, I think in a couple of years, people are going to be saying, how did you pass on Justin Fields? And I want him, I hope every time the Chicago Bears are going up against the San Francisco 49ers, Justin Fields goes out there and puts up 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. We've got the guy with the chip on his shoulder. We've got the guy who has something to prove, which he shouldn't. Did you not see what he did to Trevor Lawrence and the Clemson Tigers last year in the Bowl Championship Series or whatever the hell it's called? He owned those fools. He looked like the top pick in the draft. And I don't want to know why he fell in the draft. I don't give a shit why he fell in the draft. The thing is, he's a member of the Chicago Bears. And this is a huge thing. And I know a lot of people will be like, look, it's the draft. Don't get too excited about this. Don't go crazy. We don't, there's a lot of things that can still happen. But let me tell you why this is so special for Chicago Bear fans. And this will go back. Let's talk a little bit about Russell Wilson and what that meant. Now, obviously, a couple of months ago, Russell Wilson put out there that he was willing to accept a trade to the Chicago Bears. This is why we got so excited about it for a couple of reasons. Now, number one, when Russell Wilson comes out and says he'll play for your franchise, I don't care who your quarterback is, they're gone. Like, I don't care. Like, let's make the change. It's kind of like, if Gal Gadot, who's happily married at the moment, if she came out and said, listen, I don't want to leave my husband, but if I did, one of the 4 people I would hook up with is Adam Rank. Well, I would tell my wife to leave. Like, you're going to have to move out. Gal Gadot, like, let's be realistic. And that's what it was like for Russell Wilson. We did the song and dance. We offered them a lot of picks. It didn't work out. Seattle, logically, wanted to keep him. Fine. We moved on. We signed Andy Dalton. And then we start going through the draft process. And we're wondering, like, hey, what quarterback can we get? And I think a lot of us liked Mac Jones and said, Mac Jones is not given enough credit for what he's able to do. I know Alabama quarterbacks haven't necessarily panned out, but Mac Jones looks a little bit different, could be somebody who could succeed. I thought at number 20, it was reasonable that he could fall to them. I say this because I sincerely thought that Justin Fields would go number 3 to the San Francisco 49ers. I didn't ultimately believe that Mac Jones was their guy, and then it ended up being Trey Lance. That's fine. But again, when Justin Fields put 6 touchdowns on you, remember that. Remember that pick. And by the way, Jets, I would be upset with you. I would make fun of you. But, like, you're the Jets. Like, I get it. You're gonna take the wrong quarterback anyways. Like, there is no way Zach Wilson is going to be a better quarterback than Justin Fields. Absolutely no way. So let me say this. As the draft starts moving on, and I know my friend Justine and some like Greg Wilson and all these guys, they start Phil, draft Dr. Phil. Like, people are now like, hey, like, he's falling. We get to number 7. Detroit takes Penei Sewell, which, by the way, I hope Khalil Mack drives him so far into the backfield and just runs over Jared Goff. Make them. Like, remember this too, Detroit. You chose Jared Goff over Justin Fields. I will never let you forget that. I will constantly remind you of that. That is a promise to you. And I want Khalil Mack and Danny Trevathan and Akeem Hicks. I want you to drive them into the backfield. And then at number 8, you know what? I love Sam Darnold. I was hopeful the Carolina Panthers were going to stick right there. They did. Like, thank you, Carolina Panthers. You don't need a quarterback. Take the corner. It wasn't, who was the corner? It was JC, whoever. Who gives a shit who the cornerback was? They didn't take Justin Fields. That's what I care about. The next pick. Oh, Denver. God bless you, John Elway. God bless you, Teddy Bridgewater. God bless you, Drew Lock. You know what? I hope that Justin Fields only throws 3 touchdowns against you the next time we play. I hope we beat the shit out of you. But I hope it's just a couple of touchdowns and no big deal. Because I really want to thank you. Patrick Surtain. Remember this. At some point in the future, we're going to look back and say, you know what? You chose Patrick Surtain over Justin Fields. I'll never forget that. And then the Philadelphia Eagles made a move with the Dallas Cowboys. I got concerned for a second, but I like Jalen Hurts. I think he's a good quarterback. I thought that was a good pick last year. I wanted the Bears to take him. That's fine. Eagles, you did the right thing. Take your receiver, take Devonta Smith, do your thing. Dallas Cowboys, you need a lot of help. The player that you needed was not there. You called up Ryan Pace, or he called you. No, it was the Giants, Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman, the next time you're in Chicago, or actually I live in Huntington Beach, so it doesn't matter. Oh, by the way, I live in Long Beach, sorry. I don't like telling people I live in Huntington Beach, but that's a story. That's a video for another day. I want to let you know, Dave Gettleman, you are never going to buy another drink while you're in my presence because you traded up or you traded down and let the Bears move up. And I know a lot of people were concerned that the New England Patriots were going to end up with Justin Fields, but the Bears were here to save you. And now on a day when Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to play in Green Bay, and by the way, Aaron, I hope you stay. I don't want any excuses. I don't want you bitching out here at the last minute now that Justin Fields is aboard. You stay in Green Bay. Let's see. Let's rock, baby. Let's see how it goes. And we got Justin Fields. Doesn't matter, Ward Cook. Like, listen, this is the thing. This was the opportunity. This was the opportunity for Ryan Pace to admit his mistake. And he's not going to pass on the guy. Like, honestly, Deshaun Watson would have been the best Bears quarterback. I think Patrick Mahomes needs a really excellent, like, I'm not saying he's terrible. Deshaun Watson plays well no matter where he goes. Patrick Mahomes, I still think Deshaun Watson might end up being the better quarterback. And I know it sounds crazy. Put Deshaun Watson in Kansas City. They might have 2 Super Bowls. But I'm saying this. Ryan Pace had the opportunity to go out there and get the quarterback that Bears fans have deserved. And this is why everybody's so excited. Because for so long, we've had to deal with just a gaping need at quarterback. We've tried everything. The best Bears quarterbacks in my lifetime, Jim McMahon, Jay Cutler, and Walter Payton on the halfback option. And that's it. But now we have Justin Fields, a guy with an actual pedigree. I don't have to sit here and try to convince myself that Justin Fields is a good quarterback. I know that he's a good quarterback. This is exactly what the Chicago Bears and the fans have wanted for generations. Give us somebody that we can rally around. That Justin Fields jersey is going to be one of the top sellers, if not the top seller, on NFL Shop in the very near future. Everybody in Chicago is going to be excited. You thought it was a party when Joe Madden delivered a World Series to Chicago? You do not understand the excitement everybody is feeling right now with Justin Fields. Welcome to Soldier Fields. It is a great feeling. And I think that the one thing that the Bears quarterbacks want, this is what we want. I want to walk into every game feeling like we could win. I never get that with Mitch Trubisky. It always felt like the defense has got to play real well. Mitch Trubisky can't trip over his dick, and we need to go out there and play. We need to have something special happen. And it could either take a rainy night in Miami or a double doink to cost us the whole house of cards. We have a quarterback who can go out there and win games for us. The Chicago Bears have won draft night. I can't remember the last time that has happened. Like how many, look over the last couple of years. Obviously Roquan Smith was fine. Fine, sorry, that's stupid. Roquan Smith has been excellent. I'm sorry. My mind is going all over the place, so forgive me. But if you think about the other draft, like we were drafting, there was a draft going on in Chicago and we took Kevin White, and like the lack of energy in the building. Oh, we took Leonard Floyd. Please help me contain my excitement. I can't tell you. Never in my life have I ever walked out of draft night knowing that we absolutely crushed it. That we just owned this shit. It is a new era in Chicago. The Justin Fields era. Man, this is unbelievable. This is beyond my wildest dreams. I was on Instagram last night being like, you know what? I just want to pretend. I want one more sleep where I feel like Justin Fields could end up being our quarterback. I just wanted to believe, and we did. So I want to thank Ryan Pace for doing the right thing. Matt Nagy, you know what? A lot of people have been down on Matt Nagy and think that he's not a good coach, that he's too arrogant. But you know what? The excuses are over. This is your quarterback. We don't have to go out and win the quarterback. We don't have to go out and win the Super Bowl this season. But I want to see a quarterback going out there playing his ass off And if he could go out there and have the impact that Justin Herbert had, and you know what? We got a defense that's better than the Chargers. I think there's an opportunity for this Bears team to be very special. And when we do the predictions, I'm going to pick the Bears to go to the playoffs. So it's already happening. So it's been a great night for Chicago. Thanks for everybody for hanging out. Heidi, sorry for my language. Sorry for everything. Bear freaking down. It's a new world. Thank you all. God bless. And we'll see you later.